Hello student, very good morning to all of you. How are you? I hope you all are happy, healthy and fine at home. Do you remember what were we discussing yesterday? I think we were discussing about the recording of PMR spectrum, and there we have seen as the instrumental part means PMR spectrophotometer. The PMR means proton magnetic resonance. How many part are involved, or that spectrophotometer consists the following part, are the part like as a magnet, what is the function of that magnet, how it is connected, and that instrument is a very complicated instrument as we know that. Then radio frequency oscillator, then sweep generator, then radio frequency detector, or the recorders. So these are the some of the sample holders. So these are the some of the instrumental part actually present there. In that, what we are generally discussing about that part, right? Now, there is a strong or the powerful electromagnet is generated or placed, and homogeneity is required. Generally the electromagnet it has a power near about is a 14,000 Gauss, very powerful to get the homogeneity. And then the generally the radio frequency is required near about 60 megahertz. So that is there. Then radio frequency oscillator, and that radio frequency oscillator it provide the necessary radio frequency to the molecule. That molecule goes in the excited state and absorb as a energy and produce as a signal when that perfectly match with that precessional frequency, and then we are getting, or it will produce as a signal. One is a sweep generator, and as we know that sweep generator used to supply DC current to generate the electromagnet for functioning of those instrument. Then sample holder or the container, it consists long narrow tube. Sample dissolve in appropriate solvent, and it is constantly rotating so that all the molecule should experience the magnetic field. Then there is a radio frequency detector. The signal which are detected by that radio frequency detector, which is coming from that oscillator, that coil, and after that signal is sent to the recorder. By the signals are amplified and recorded in the form of the spectrum, and these are the discussion we already discussed in our previous lecture. Now we are discussing the PMR spectrum can be recorded in two ways. PMR spectrum can be recorded in two ways. what are the two main thing. If you imagine as a radio, right, and in a radio one is a one button, the switch on off button is there, and another knob which is we can move clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction, so that whatever centers are there they perfectly matching, and radio whatever news or whatever conversation on that station we are hearing very properly. So that is the, and that type of the things here, the PMR spectrum can be recorded in two ways. Number one, magnetic field, that is a H0 magnetic field which is represented by H0. Magnetic field is kept constant. This magnetic field is kept constant, and radio frequency, magnetic field is kept constant, but the radio frequency is changed from lower to higher value. Different proton in a molecule are at different frequencies. This is the one way of recording PMR spectrum, by keeping magnetic field is a constant and go on changing the radio frequency. That is the one way, means a different proton in the molecule are at different frequency. This is the first thing. Now is the second thing. In the second point, the second way is radio frequency. Now is a radio frequency is kept constant over here, constant, and magnetic field which is represented by H0 generally is changing. Radio frequency is kept constant, and the strength of applied magnetic field is changed. Different proton in a molecule absorb at different magnetic field, and it is easier to change the magnetic field more accurately than changing the radio frequency, and hence all PMR instruments work with the fixed radio frequency and changing magnetic field. So it is one of the best way. It is easier to change the magnetic field more accurately than changing the radio frequency, and hence all PMR instruments work with a fixed radio frequency and changing the magnetic field. We can change that knob by changing the magnetic field. And in most of the PMR instrument, the radio frequency used is 60 megahertz. Generally as a 60 megahertz is nothing but as a 60 into 10 raised to 6 hertz. Hertz is a unit of frequency. The magnetic field, required at this radio frequency to excite the nucleus is about 14,092 Gauss. This much is a magnetic field. Gauss is the unit of magnetic field. This is a Megahertz is the unit of the frequency, and this 60 megahertz radio frequency correspond to 14,092 Gauss, which is a magnetic field, is perfectly matching, and it produced as a signal. That instrument is fixed. The magnetic field required at this radio frequency to excite the nucleus is about 40,092 Gauss. If we need higher resolution of peaks in the spectrum, we have to use instruments with higher radio frequencies such as 100 megahertz, 300 megahertz, 500 megahertz, and these are the values, etc. The corresponding magnetic field required would be 23,486 Gauss, and if 300 megahertz radio frequency, the magnetic field required would be 4,058 Gauss once again, and the radio frequency is a 500 megahertz. It corresponds to the magnetic field will be 1,17,413 Gauss. Gauss. These are the different radio frequency and their corresponding magnetic field values approximately are shown over there. Now, next point we are going to discuss the number of PMR signals, which is the important point which we are going to discuss over here. What is it? That is the PMR signals. Oh, let's see over here PMR signals. Number of PMR signals. This is a very good point. Number of PMR signals. Number of PMR signal, or we can call it as a peak or bands. So these are the point which we are going to discuss over here. Number of PMR signals. We know that the structure of the organic compound, the protons are in a different chemical environment. Likewise, if all proton in a given molecule observe at the same magnetic field, then they would produce one signal, and this technique would not have been of any help. However, protons in different chemical environment, proton in different chemical environment However, proton in a different chemical environment observe at different magnetic fields. Therefore, number of PMR signal or peaks is equal to the number of types of proton in the molecule. This is a very, very important point which I am going to make over here number of PMR signals, number of PMR signals or peaks, we can call it as peaks, is equal to the number of types of protons in the molecule, in the molecules. Look at it. The number of PMR signals is equal to the number of type of protons. So this is a very, very important point which I am making over here. Number of PMR signals or peaks is equal to the number of types of proton in the molecule. So chemically equivalent protons, remember once again, chemically equivalent protons, chemically equivalent proton absorb at the same field. Chemically equivalent proton absorbed at the same field means in the magnetic field and produce one signal. But chemically non-equivalent protons, non-equivalent proton here produce one signal or peak, produce different signals, because number of PMR signal depend upon the number of types of proton. Suppose only one type of, if they are the chemically equivalent proton produce only one signal, chemically non-equivalent proton produce as a different signals. That are the points are very, very important as far as the NMR spectroscopy is concerned. Now let us see here example CH4. This is a methane molecule, we know that. This is one of the simplest alkane family member which is a methane. Now tell me how many PMR signal will appear for methane molecule, or how many signal will show methane molecule. Look at here all the hydrogen atom. If you know the structure of that methane molecule is like this, all the proton, are they chemically equivalent proton or are they chemically non-equivalent proton? That you have to first identify. Now let us see here, this is a proton. There are two neighbors on this right hand side, and if you see here on left hand side there are two protons and they are the identical, and therefore these proton and these proton, if you see everywhere, all are the same thing, means they are the chemically equivalent proton. And as we know that chemically equivalent proton produce only one signal, only one peak, or only one band is observed in a PMR spectrum. That is a point you must remember over here. Now second one, suppose let us see another example over here, CS3, and another one is the CS3. We know that this is a second member of the alkane family which is ethane molecule. Now tell me how many signal will be obtained for ethane molecule. And we know that number of PMR signal is equal to the number of types of proton. Means whether they are the chemically equivalent or chemically non-equivalent, that you have to identify. Now if you look at here, this is a methyl group, this is also as a methyl group. This methyl group has adjacent methyl group, and this methyl group has a neighbor this methyl group. Means around that methyl group, the chemical environment is the same. It means that they are chemically equivalent proton. And as we know that chemically equivalent proton produce only one signal, and therefore ethane molecule will produce only one signal, one PMR signal or one NMR signal is observed for methane molecule. Let's move on to the next one. Suppose we have this one, CS3, CH2 and CS3. Look at, this is the third molecule which belong to the alkane family. Look at here. Now if you observe this structure carefully, see over here, methyl group, this is also methyl group. This methyl group has one neighbor which is a CH2. This methyl group has a one neighbor which is a CS3. Means this methyl group and this methyl group chemically they are equivalent. Chemically equivalent, and whatever proton attached to that all are the chemically equivalent protons. So A and A. One signal, even though there is a how many number of protons are present, in this case there are 6 protons are present, but all these 6 protons are chemically equivalent, and therefore they will produce only one signal here. Now look at this methyl group, methylene group, CH2 group. 2 protons are there. Are these 2 protons chemically equivalent or chemically non-equivalent? Yes, they are chemically equivalent, and therefore it will produce one signal. Means if you scan the spectrum of PMR, you will observe there are 2 peaks are there, one due to the methyl group, another due to the methylene group. Means 2 signals are obtained from this propane molecule, or propane molecule will give 2 NMR signal or the PMR signals. So this is the way to describe, to identify the number of signal present in the following molecules. Here one table is given. Table 7.2 shows number of types of proton and the number of signal observed in PMR spectrum. Now let's see over here. This is one of the example. Another example. Let me see. Here CS3, CH2, then Br. That is ethyl bromide. One of the simplest molecule over here. And this molecule, if you observe this compound carefully, what do you observe? Here we are talking about the PMR spectroscopy, means proton magnetic resonance. Here is a methyl group, here also has a methylene group. Now whatever 3 protons are there, they are chemically equivalent proton, and therefore you can label it as a proton. Means all these proton, 3 proton will produce only one signal, which we have seen over here. If chemically equivalent proton produce one signal, chemically non-equivalent proton produce different signals. And now all these three protons attached to this carbon atom, they are chemically equivalent proton, and therefore they will produce only one signal over here. Now this methylene proton, there are two protons are there, but both the protons are again chemically equivalent, and therefore they will produce another. So means methyl here is a ethyl bromide. If you run the spectra, if you take the spectra or if you record the spectra of ethyl bromide, it will give, you will observe there are two peaks, for one due to methylene group and another signal due to the methylene group CH2. So from this we can find out the number of signal in the molecule. Now let's see another one more example I am showing over here. Let's see, this is the example CH3 CH2O, then CH2O and CH3. Now this is one of the simplest example which I have written on the blackboard. Observe this structure carefully and tell me how many PMR signal would be observed for this molecule, whether it will produce number of signal depend upon the number of types of proton present in the molecule. First of all, you have to find out the number of different kinds of protons are present here. Look at here, this is a methylene group, this is also as a methylene group. Are these two methylene group same or different? See, this methylene group attached to methylene group CH2, right? Means, and here these methyl group attached to the oxygen, the chemical environment around that methyl is a different, and that this methyl also has a different, and therefore they are chemically non-equivalent, and chemically non-equivalent proton produce the different signals. So let us see here, it will give as a signal, it will give the B signal, means two methyl group, they are chemically non-equivalent, therefore they will produce as a 2 signal. Now look at here, this is also as a CH2, this is also as a CH2. If you observe this structure carefully, similar to these two methyl, both are the same methyl group, but their surrounding are different. They are not in the same environment. Their chemical environment are the different, and that's why they are producing as a different signal. This methyl group is a somewhere, and this will show it's a different chemical shape, means signal are different totally. Here also this methyl group, it has a neighbor methyl CH3 methylene group, and other side is oxygen. But this CH2, on both sides there is oxygen atom, and therefore these methylene 2 CH2 group also chemically non-equivalent, and therefore they will produce as a different signal. So here you can call it as a C, and here you will get as a D. Means there are 4 types of protons are present here. How many types of protons are present? 4 types of proton, and therefore 4 NMR signals. Signals are obtained. So in that way you have to find out, or you can identify very easily by knowing this technique. I think these are the some example which we have discussed here. I think remaining points We will discuss in the next lecture. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.